against me. They can use past historical grievances against me. And also, I'm curious, JF, what is your solution for the banking problem right now? Because there's a lot of people, right, especially in the chat, who are believing that whites are in danger right now, that in 5 years they're going to be replaced, and they need a solution right this very moment, not when the crisis is coming, right? What is the alt-right solution for the imminent white genocide that's going on?
Well, if you strawman the speakers on a Hangout, I would not doubt that you also strawman people on the chat. I've never seen anyone claim that in 5 years the white race would disappear. However, it's a very realistic scenario to think that it could become a minority in almost all of its countries within the next 500 years. And because it will happen in a way that is non-returnable, where there is a point of non-return, we have to think about it right now, yes. But that's because sometimes you make democratic decisions that will result in unstoppable phenomena for the next 500 years, such as letting an immigration wave into your country that has higher birth rate than you. Now, people don't think about that. We should start thinking about that because birth rate is everything over evolutionary time.
So let me clarify. If I said that I'm strawmanning, there was an article that was being spread around saying that whites are going to become a minority in the US in 5 years. But there are certain
That's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. Now, if your ideology is for the next 500 years, that when the crisis is going to happen and we're going to have to worry about it then, I mean, that's fine.
You're
more
against
power to
strawmanning. Richard has already answered to that point. So no, because you tend to make a little passive-aggressive point, and then you move on to another question. You know what I'm going to do, V? I'm going to address each and every one of your points. So don't start with these passive-aggressive comments, or it's going to take 3 hours. Richard has already answered to you. In identitarianism, there are solutions for the current world. There are practicalities that can improve the world right now. You make it about the crisis. We've simply observed that within the next 500 years, it's very unlikely that the financial systems and governmental systems of Canada and the US will remain unchanged. That's all we're saying. And once we're there, we'd like to know where we're headed, or at least have prepared the minds to be thinking of who they are and what they want for the future.
So if I'll ever met a person that says that white genocide is happening right now, and we need to do something right now that's drastic, either than white identitarianism, I can tell him, calm down. It's going to be at least 500 years until the crisis is happening.
We didn't say the crisis. Yeah,
because you cannot tell them calm down, because if they don't act within the next few years and within the next few decades, certain countries may be in a position where they take irreversible steps toward the extinction of the white race, which, yes, will happen in the future.
Okay, so it's hypothetical, but you don't really know when. That's fair enough, right? What do you do with people who don't want
Again,
to
you strawman. Did I say I don't really know what's going to happen in 500 years?
You don't have an
know
idea.
some things about birth rates, V. We do know some things about the birth rates of Muslims.
I think there'll be a crisis
in Canada
a lot sooner than 500 years, to be honest.
Okay. But my question is, what do you do towards people who don't want to take part into white identitarianism? And what do you do if you find out you're just a minority of people and the overwhelming majority don't care about white identitarianism and they don't want to be a part of it?
Okay.
Maybe
I think we go on live debate shows and we talk about how our political philosophy, and we kind of change people's minds. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I mean, what the alt-right is about is raising consciousness. Fundamentally, it's again, the alt-right could have just become a Trump cheerleading section, like a lot of the alt-right or so on. I think that would have been actually a grave sin. The fact is, there is a time to be a cheerleader of sorts, but there's also a time to be critical, and there's a time to be looking out ahead. And I think that's what's great about the alt-right, is that it has embraced an identitarian philosophy, and so we are raising consciousness in a new way, in a way that wasn't there before. Now, in terms of, like, if you want me to get a little more, I don't know, nitty gritty or about this, Sure. I don't believe that in any society, or let me rephrase that. I don't believe that historical change occurs because one rationally convinces the entire society, or 51% of it, to agree with something, and then we kind of move forward like that. The fact is, minority populations have had a tremendous amount of effect, whether those are, say, ethnic minorities that are networked and act as groups, whether those are elite classes. The fact is, in terms of the development of history, elites have more power than the average hoi polloi. Elites set the tone for a society. Things trickle down from them. Things trickle up too. But in terms of political decisions, it is often elites that change things. So again, if my goal was to rationally convince the entire world, or 51% of the world, to agree with everything I said, that's a bit ridiculous. But that's ridiculous for every single ideology out there. I mean, why even get out of bed in the morning? The fact is, we want to form an elite. We want people highly placed within the system who can make decisions that are good decisions, whether they make them on behalf of the alt-right or identitarians. Regardless, it's irrelevant. The fact is that they're making the right one. So yeah, I mean, this is what we're doing right now.
Hey, Richard, actually, and I'll try and clarify V's point, and V, correct me if I'm wrong, or his question rather. Okay. What V, I think what he's asking is, say there's someone like V or Arch or whoever is not down for the ethno-state, right? And they have these beliefs currently at this time, but then there is an ethno-state. What would you do with someone like V or Arch? Would you just
or Antifa, for instance,
or Antifa? Would you?
They're white people, yeah.
You let them live their lives and just whatever, peace out. I guess I'll see you on the other side.
Society, they're dissidents and heretics.
So you're fine with that. So say, for example, let's say like 7 to 10% of the population wants the ethno-state. They all move in there, and then everyone else just lives their lives through whatever.
I mean, look. Let me answer this. Within an ethno-state, there's going to be a left and a right. There's going to be socialists and libertarians. There might even be an Antifa. Something like I get it. A society has many layers. There's going to be rich people. There's going to be there's a homeless population. Within the ethno-state, we're going to have tons of problems. We might have another opioid epidemic on our hands in this utopian order that I've dreamt up. I mean, I am realistic about that. Again, it's about setting the tone and having people in positions of power to make these decisions. That's what's key. And so, yeah, there'll be people who disagree with it. There are people who disagree with America right now. It's just...
Honestly, I hear a lot of platitudes, but I mean, they sound good. You're very charismatic, and I'm pretty sure you resonate in the hearts of a lot of people, but it's nothing concrete, like nothing's a step-by-step guide on how to achieve these things. What do you think, Arch? Because you haven't spoken for a while.
Well, I'd like to answer to your question, V, because I may have a slightly different answer than Richard. Personally, and that's because of my type of separatism, I don't care if most of the white race doesn't even want to live in the ethno-state. I mean, 95% of the whites, I wouldn't want them in my society. And so if there is some time, when an ethno-state emerges, it's going to be in a place. It's going to be either in Europe or in North America, or it could be Quebec. I mean, I don't think it's very possible, but it could be a part of the Quebec territory that separates. If that happens, I don't mind if not all white people want to live there. And it's fine that there are multicultural societies, and I'm super happy if people can self-select to stay in the multicultural society if they are so inclined.